we have some work to do.
Oh, there you go.
Carnitas mi rancho.
Oh, it's one of those.
You guys ready for it? But wait, there's more. What is up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. We have the giveaway bike behind us, and the last couple weeks you've seen us not only ride it all the way here from South Dakota, but you've been seeing us upgrade it. And what are the last couple upgrades you've done, Juan?
So the last thing we did was the exhaust. We're super stoked on how that came out. It looks better, it sounds better. We're not done yet.
All right, so we did the exhaust. During that time, we put on the mid controls, or we put mid controls on while we were on the road, but we had to take them off, I guess, while we were doing the exhaust.
Bars, risers, we did the cables, we did extensions, we did everything we had to do to get the hand controls dialed in this thing.
Then we took it out on a ride. We rode it out to the Pacific Coast Highway. Cole, you rode it?
Yep.
I rode it. Juan, did you get to ride it?
I did not ride it.
Every time we ride it, we find something where like, all right, we want to stoke whoever picks this thing up. Like we want to stoke them out. So like we're like kind of picking it apart, trying to find things, and like we might be going a little overboard.
And I don't even know if it's picked this thing up. We're gonna see who ends up winning it, and then we'll kind of decide, are we gonna bring it to them? Are they gonna come here and get it? Give us your feedback too. Like, what would be your dream of getting this bike? Would you want to like come here and ride it home? Would you want us to show up at your doorstep with this thing?
Yeah, that'd be cool.
One of the things that started falling apart on us is this came loose. When we started working on this bike, it was missing a bolt already.
And not only that, we discovered these oil catch cans do not have drain plugs on them, so they're just draining onto the engine.
So there's supposed to be something, I would imagine, it's threaded on both of these, but you can see how oily they get, and then they drop all over the engine. You can even see it on the heat shield, all over the heat shield. That's like covered in oil right there. So this air filter is either missing components, it's messy. Originally we kind of like, we're like, oh, let's just leave it on. It's kind of nostalgic to this bike, but there's no way we can leave that on. And then another thing is we found this bike bounced a lot. When we finally started to rip it in the canyons throughout this week, the bike was just like, hoo, hoo. And it would almost like, Cole, like you were saying, it would like stand you up.
It almost felt like the wheel was hitting the fender and it would like stand you.
I think it was just bottoming out. I mean, this thing only has like an inch and a half of travel, dude.
And the front end was like a pogo stick.
There's less than 2 weeks for you to enter for a chance to win this bike. So head over to thrashinsupply.com, learn all the details, how you can enter.
Enter for a chance to win. To give away bike. We got to relocate the distributor back to where
you guys aren't liking that?
I'm not loving it. I had one of the spark plug wires fall out of there on the way home from Sturgis when we were crossing state line into California. I think we got to put that back to stock.
Okay. So we're gonna need to get the right cables that meet there, the right length, and figure out how to relocate that and make sure this all looks good. We have some work to do. So either way, get on this thing, let's ride it into the shop, and there is a package already waiting on the workbench and installed on this. So let's see what it is.
I'm gonna try to ride it because I haven't ridden it yet. It definitely is starting to feel way more proper, but just rolling it off the driveway, I felt the pogo.
We have a box on the table right here. Open it up. Let's see what's in there.
All right, take a guess. What do you guys think is gonna be in there? What do you want to be in here? Whoa, dude! Oh, I don't know if you guys are ready for this.
Boom! All right, let's open it up. There's two options because there's one for our 24, and then there's this one right here. BA air cleaner kit, chrome. I don't know if you guys can read that, but it is for this year model bike. It says 99 to 17 twin cam Dyna.
All right, reveal. Oh, it's covered. What kind of reveal? Oh, let's try this again. The great reveal. Ah, there it is, dude.
And there's a sticker over it so it doesn't get scratched right now, but look at how much better that's gonna look. You get an idea before.
Probably give this to whoever wins the
Yeah,
bike.
we'll leave it in the box. And
But I kind of want that. Kind of want to hang that on my wall.
Well, see this little cap right here that says PRO? It fell off from the top, so now it has no support here. So we were thinking about fixing it, but I think we're just gonna put that new fueling filter. It's gonna look a lot cooler, and you'll still be able to keep this. We're gonna give it to you guys, right?
Yeah, we're definitely gonna give it to them. But the thing is, another reason why we were concerned to just like rip this off back when we first started working on it is there is a spacer that is between the throttle body. You can see it's connected to this hose right here. And that spacer is what creates the vacuum that then opens up the little door right there. I didn't want to take it apart and then make the bike unrideable. This week we have a little bit more time to leave it on the lift. We're gonna find out right now if we're gonna need to go to the Harley shop or need any other parts to put it back together. So we're trying to dial this thing in again as if it was ours. So one thing we didn't like, we felt that the kit that we bought, even though it was for the right estimated length of bar and riser, everything was a little too long.
Especially the front brake line, because if you put this thing up, it's like,
yeah. So front brake line's too long. Throttle cables, in our opinion, is too long. So we did buy shorter brake line and shorter throttle cables. So we're going to go ahead and swap those out. I'm gonna remove the seat so that way we can also kind of lift the gas tank, since we're gonna be changing out throttle cables while we're doing this. It'll also give us more access to the throttle body as we remove that spacer plate.
I'm not gonna toss this because I'm gonna put it in the box for you, whoever wins it.
sweet, dude. Look at that little actuator right there.
Did you guys plan on wearing the same shirts today?
We went to lunch today, we're like, what?
Turn around, straight face the bike. Boys, I can't get you guys. Nice. I see these sitting here.
Yeah.
And they match. And let's swap them out.
These were off of my bike. These were my passenger pegs.
Let's swap them out.
Oh, the steel.
Paul's bike
you
continues
doing,
to donate parts to this bike. Doing great, look at that.
So if you guys remember what I was saying, see that? There's a threaded hole at the bottom. Look at the oil right there.
Does it come with these bolts, that kit?
It should, yeah, it should come with those bolts. Yeah, those are right here. Comes with the bolts, comes with the O-rings to seal it up.
I'm chilling.
See it? Biggest thing is taking it off of there and making sure we have that seal. That's the biggest thing.
Portion sure. The bolts to take the throttle body are right there.
Yeah,
There's one at the bottom,
Okay.
if you could see it, but then the one at the top, I need to take this makeshift bracket out, so.
Which we already wanted to delete
Yeah.
anyways, so.
Setting up a little shot for my boy Raymond over here. I forgot how heavy stock passenger foot pegs are.
What was on there? What's going on there? That belongs there.
They must have like made this custom bracket to relocate it.
All right, so there you have it. Taken apart, fueling BA air filter with all the gaskets supplied. They even supply you with little Loctites that you need to use. Follow the instructions. So that's ready for when we need it.
All right.
What do you guys get
Cole,
done over here?
I got these 2 screws loose. See if the throttle body comes off.
She's off, brother.
All right, let's get
All
that.
right, so
Here's our
what is
little
that?
spacer.
Dude.
So that's the like thing that fed the actuator.
Okay, so what worries me? Oh no, look.
The O-ring's there.
O-ring's in
O-ring's
there.
It is,
So we're good to
dude.
go, dude. But now we need hardware because that hardware is gonna be way too long. I mean, it will maybe work, but look at that. Would probably run into that.
I'm
So we
more worried
probably
about
need
the
to-
top. We put my mids on here, obviously, on the way home. All ARP hardware with our militants.
Let's see. Oh, ARP right there.
These
What'd
are
you go-
also off my bike. However, we did put fresh ARP for the passenger pegs.
Nice, look at that. So that's been done. Matching front and rear. American made, Thrashin supply, militant foot pegs, front, rear with American made ARP hardware.
Whoever wins the bike, I'm gonna throw the stock ones with the crusty bolts in our pile for the winner.
Nice. How we doing, dude?
Trying to get that bolt out.
Do a little surgery. We got to get this taken apart. This custom made bracket, these crusty spark plug wires that I zip tied. Look at the tape that was on it. Someone did that so that they would stay on.
Gives me flashbacks because that happened going across state line or going through that thunderstorm. I fully thought that this bike was doing exactly what my bike did in
Yeah.
Sturgis. So I was like,
Go high speed
not
SD.
again.
This is a big reason why we didn't change the air filter out earlier, because we did run into a situation where we can't finish it today. And a lot of the other ones we wanted to ride it the same day we were working on it. So explain what happened.
It needed the spacer to pull vacuum from the intake manifold to actuate these valves with the diaphragm. So basically, since we got rid of this intake, we didn't need the spacer, we didn't need this hardware, but we didn't have the original one. So I went online and we ordered the original hardware, and then we also ordered the original length spark plug cables and some spark plugs and a couple other pieces that we're gonna need to get this bike rolling. Like Lance said, we're not gonna be able to ride it today, but that's okay. We have planned for this, so we're just gonna get going as much as we can.
Is this hardware gonna work? Which it does look like. Yeah, it says HD, so it looks like factory hardware, so hopefully, yeah, we should be good.
And when Juan says we're not gonna be able to ride it today, we are gonna be able to ride it in this video, right?
Yes,
This
in
will be,
video.
yeah.
Yes. All right, so the coil has been relocated. Remember, it was there. Now it's here where it came from the factory. We're waiting for the spark plug wires that are the right length to go to that. We will at some point move the horn, which is also not in the OEM spot, back to the OEM spot. But for today, brake line, look how long it is. Came in the kit. Swoops around, swoops in there, and then look, even it's really big there. And swap it out. The brake line has been changed. Look at how much better that looks. Goes down,
The front end's gonna sit a little higher. A, when it's not strapped down, and B, after we kind of dial in the suspension too, so. Oh, be careful, be careful.
I know we're not officially done, but it is 3:57 and our vlog starts in 3 minutes.
Time to go watch the vlog.
Yeah. Seal it up and we'll finish up tomorrow. All right, guys, we're back. It's a new day. A couple boxes showed up. I think the biggest thing we left on was that, did we get the hardware to put the air filter on?
We did.
Where's it at?
Go get it. It's right there. It just came up.
While Juan goes up and gets the hardware so we can finish installing the throttle body back onto the manifold, so then we can install the new fueling BA air filter.
Get rid of the biggest thing we see in the comments, everyone hating that air filter. We loved it because it was nostalgic, but yes, it is ugly and it didn't really function properly.
No, it was falling apart. It was dripping oil onto the engine.
And I noticed when you give it gas, it would like, it wouldn't open all the way. I was like, it's probably things starving for air.
But we got a couple boxes. Some of those are boxes that we need that just showed up. Let's take these off right now.
Do you want to show what's in them real quick?
Nope.
Oh,
Let's
okay.
just get these off. Just know that we got some suspension. I mean, what if we open the box and it's like not even the right one, so we take the bike apart?
We got the bolts that are the right length, so we don't need to run the spacer. Oh yeah, this is the original one. See?
Some of the length difference. Two. Way shorter. There's suspension upgrades in those boxes over there.
What? Did you open it already?
I didn't open it, and I'm not telling them what is in it.
Okay.
So, but what I will say is let's take the shocks off and let's take the forks off because
right.
we're gonna need to. Normally, we wouldn't do this where we're taking apart more of the bike before we assemble what's already apart, but it just kind of seems fitting to take this thing down to the bare.
And we only got, oh.
That's why I was holding it. I was like, let's see how spring loaded this is.
And we only got 2 weeks really, like in vlog time to get this out to the guy or girl that picks it up.
Well, you got less than 2 weeks until this giveaway closes.
And we need to have it together so we can enjoy some quality time before we...
Yeah, before it leaves.
All right, first things first. There we go.
Is that a tough? Oh, dude, you almost ran a foot.
But like stock shocks, those things are 20 years old or something. Those things are like,
like
20 years old. I'm pretty sure they're blown out.
And they're like 10 inch.
We'll compare them to what we got here in a little bit.
All right, do
All
it.
right,
All
this,
go.
no, this
Do it.
one, no,
do
dude.
it. No,
It's
do
heavy,
it.
dude. I don't want to
You
chip.
gotta do it.
Yeah, don't. You guys are gonna break our concrete.
That one dented it.
Now you just took $50 off of whoever sells this on Facebook Marketplace.
You need some help, Owen?
We need help getting the wheel off. All right. Little one at the bottom, long one at the
It
top.
looks like it must be the same as the shock. Yeah, I need the Allen to.
You need an Allen?
Right there.
Oh.
I'm wrenching because the last vlog
You
somebody
get
said I
me.
don't wrench anymore, or I don't wrench at all.
I know now Cole's gonna get beat up.
Yeah, someone's got to hold the camera. Now I'm gonna get beat up for not wrenching.
Watch the spacers.
We're good on this side. We're good. Keep going.
The little washer side is over here.
Oh.
Oh, it's one of those.
Oh, we gotta take the fender off. Well, we need a fender off anyways. Many of you guys were wondering why the front end was so soft when we were riding it through the canyons. I saw a lot of comments that were like, oh, there's no oil in the forks. We don't know either. So we're about to drain the oil, see how much there is in it, see the color of it. I mean, who knows? Maybe they've never been rebuilt in the last 20
We
years.
left them on here too because it's easier to do it on the bike. Are you sure?
Yes. So there's quite a bit of oil in there. I mean, it's black. It's dirty. Look at the dirt. Here we go.
What is it supposed to have, do you know?
I don't know. I know that like when I used to build forks at work suspension, you would want the oil level above the dampening rod. Fluid ounces right there. 11-ish, because there's still some dripping. Come on.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, Cole.
Jesus. Word.
All right, we're gonna reset the preload on these things to be that long. Dude, it was riding there almost.
That's crazy.
All right.
Through canyon turns, it was riding about
It was higher,
there.
but the little like coupling is like not in the right spot anymore. All right, so that had about the same amount of oil in it. So they had about probably 12 ounces of oil in there. All right,
so that wasn't the problem.
that was not the problem.
We're gonna fix it.
But also one of the things is like on my FXR when I first got it and I took my forks apart, they were also really soft. The dampening rod, 4 extra holes in it, and every hole was drilled twice as big.
So they purposely wanted it. That was
Just
probably
to
like
be,
a mod
that was
back
just
then.
like the cruiser, dude.
Yeah.
All right, now that that's off, they should come out. That pull this one loose. Okay, then what I like to do after that, to loosen this cap while it's in the tree. So you guys, I'm just showing you, I know how to work on bikes. So what I like to do is I like to loosen the fork and I like to raise it up. See, because right now you can't loosen that because it's being pinched. And then definitely secure the bottom down for sure. And you're using this basically like as the vise.
Put some juice into it.
Oh, I guess a little bit.
Wait, is this stock a piece of plastic?
Yeah,
PVC?
so like if you lengthen that,
it puts more preload.
it would make it longer before.
That's what's nice about the DX forks. This is like on a thread system, so like you can just set your preload.
I think the upgrade that we're doing right now, much more premium, but my initial idea was just adding preload and thicker oil. It would have helped a little bit. That was always like, when I first got into Harleys, kind of the initial like affordable way to make your front end handle wheelies. Suspension tutorial, and we're dialing in this bike. It's gonna be a sick bike. Whoever gets this bike is going to have a dialed bike.
That's the thing I keep saying about like, don't let our comments about what we want to do this thing take away from the bike, because the bike's awesome.
Again, I don't even know how much of these parts we're gonna be using for the reinstall, but I just figured it's easier to disassemble it when it's on the fork. Triple check there's not oil, the forks, and there's a little washer in there. Any of it. See what's in there as well. I don't think we're using those tubes anymore. Well, let's see what we got in the boxes. There it is. The bike is somewhat at its furthest point apart. Shocks are off, air filters off, forks are off. I think it's time to start some assembly. We got a couple packages in. What's this one?
What's in here, dude?
Drag Specialties.
Fork tube?
Fork.
Chromies?
Okay, so not much, but just a little bit taller.
I mean, even if the front of the bike was that much taller, even though we're gonna make it stiffer,
Yeah.
that would even be better.
Okay, so what is that? Go back to it. 2 inches?
2 inches.
So we got 2-inch longer fork tubes. Question is, what shocks are we throwing on this thing? All right, you guys ready for it?
Dun,
Dun, dun, dun, dun.
Whoa.
All right. What? Legends, made in USA. There it is. All right, now let's figure out what's in there exactly. This bike is gonna get dialed in with the exact same shocks, I believe, as what we put on Cole's bike. One set's for you, one set's for the winner.
It's like Christmas for both of us.
Revo Arc piggybacks, bro.
Dude, look at that. That's sick.
And I even asked them for the red pinstripe one, because check this out. So it matches.
Dude, look at that. Proper.
Some piggybacks, get an idea. I gotta put like the bushings and stuff in there. Look at already.
Hey.
Hey, to give you an idea, this is where the stock one's at. And then I asked for silver ones for Cole's. Here's what's going on here. That's what was on it, right there. And we're about what?
Come on, let's make these even. All right, there we go.
Maybe 1.5 inches?
Inch and a half, but then also the spring rate and all that stuff is gonna play a difference.
Yep.
If I roll,
Yep, and these are adjustable. So
look at that.
fully adjustable, you can set the sag, the preload, compression and rebound, piggyback shock. So this is going to be a night and day improvement. But wait, there's more. Did you guys forget about this too? I hid stuff because the box came with the logo on it. I was like, you know what? I want to surprise them.
Hiding room. What?
Legends cartridge forks.
Dude, that's proper.
Full front and rear. We shouldn't be having an issue with suspension like we did on last week's ride. So we have the fork tubes that match the front cartridge forks, and then we have a set of piggybacks to go with it. So
This build just went to another level.
It's nicer than my bike.
clean those up a little bit, get them all dialed in. I know we ordered like some extra fork seals and stuff like that, so we should find those. What should we put on first?
All right, I'm gonna get going on the intake, and you guys, I'm saying rear shocks.
Yep, let's do it. All right, so the Legends came with new studs that'll sit off the frame. Going ahead and removing the stock stud. Putting that thing up, check it out. So compare that.
Dude, that's beautiful. Stainless.
So you can see it, how much more it will hold it away from the bike. You see
Yeah.
that? Like that difference right there?
Yeah, and then it comes with
Spacers.
spacers to
Yeah.
offset.
So Cole's gonna go ahead and get that installed. Look at how clean that looks. Wait, it had this. It had that. And then it had another washer. And then it had the hardware, which looks a little wide.
Maybe that spacer's for the bottom.
No, it said for both. Stock washer too.
Stock washer 2?
Yeah. But we do need to raise the bike to get it there. Look at how much higher
Yeah.
the shock is.
How do they do that?
Did you guys have the shock?
Look at how much it raised. Look at that. I mean, it's gonna stack out, but dude.
Yeah, insane.
We're following what the instructions said right here. It says 2 5/8 in the middle, and that's for the 91 to 05, but I do not like
No, that's too
that,
much of an
how
angle.
that looks.
I would put the small, the half, isn't there a half one?
Yeah, yeah.
Let's try that one.
Look, we just want to make sure that this bike doesn't wallow through corners. They sent more spacers. What I think I'm gonna do is maybe do a quarter.
I would keep in mind that you guys don't know if that's for sure stock hardware.
Definitely straight.
Is it? Looks, I mean, it's close. I'd prefer to get a shorter bolt,
Yeah, that's straight.
right? Looks pretty good. Let's lock her. Let's tighten her up. Now that we've kind of roughly figured out the spacing that we like for the shocks to be parallel and
Perpendicular
square.
to the ground.
Juan, I want to prognosis, dude. You've been making headway over here.
Yep, I got the backing plate on. I put the stock throttle body back on with the hardware we purchased, backing plate, and I think 20 more minutes and we'll be done on my part.
Nice, dude. So you guys can see the spacer was there and the new hardware is right there. And now Juan is putting the backing plate on.
Yeah.
All right, we've got the shocks square to the bike. They're not tilted in or tilted out at all. Those are all dialed. They're all torqued down. They look good.
These are nice and loose.
Yeah, you want those to be able to rock back and forth because the string arm is mounted to the engine, which the engine is rubber mounted, and so these need to be able to flex, so you need that play. Cole, if you will, would you put a little pressure on this thing? I want to see kind of where the bike, look at that, dude. It's off. Look at the gap.
So much taller.
Gapped out,
So
dude.
much taller. I mean, it's gonna, like, once you sit on it,
yeah, and press it down. Canyon Ripper. All right, here's the cool thing about the Fueling BA air filter is this velocity stack. The boys have done their testing, and don't quote me if I'm wrong, but from what I understand, it creates a smoother transition and more of a vacuum for the intake, the oxygen for the intake, so it's smoother, goes in quicker, more flow.
And it's a really nice all billet piece, high end.
Yeah.
Feels cool. Both together really easy.
What's crazy is on this air filter, the little door that opens and closes is in there. The other ones
ours
is
are outside. Dude, what's up?
Guys, I'm kidding, okay? I get it. But one thing about that, kind of, you know, to keep that tradition, we did go with the clear, so you still will be able to see fuel injection.
Line that up right there. Where the plates meet.
Yep.
You want to hide that behind one of
the struts.
Yeah, because then if you don't, it's going to be visible. Nice. So I've installed a lot of intakes in my lifetime, so it's something that I always keep an eye on.
Look at that.
There it is.
Woo! Oh, dude, and it looks so good. Now the red on the air filter, the red on the tank, and the red on the piggybacks. That is a good upgrade. Now I really can't wait to see this bike put back together with the chrome risers, the new chrome air filter. All right, there was another thing we noticed, and Juan was adamant that we swap it out. Look what just showed up. I just opened this box. Check this out. You ready? Dialing it in as if it was our own.
Dude.
Brake rotor, fresh floating brake rotor and pads for the front. And I know somewhere along the lines, we also ordered a rear rotor to match and pads for the rear. So we're upgrading the brakes. There's plenty of pad life on the brake. There's total pad life on it. But what we noticed when we rode it is you could feel the pulsating, the front brake pulsing, and that's typically from a bent rotor. So we're gonna remove this stock 20-year-old rotor and put this floating rotor on it.
So much better.
So while the wheel's off, parts showed up. Let's make this part of the build today too. Legends cartridge kit going in. We set the preload for the 100 to 250 pound rider. Let's push it into the lower. Let's drive the fork seal in.
Fill right here.
That way we can fill it with oil. It's fine. All right, it's ready for oil. So the instructions on this setup cartridge fork is 6 ounces.
Wow.
Took a little over 11 ounces out, but because of this cartridge kit, it takes up more volume inside of the tubes. Juan's like, dude, how did you know those words? Kind of the same program though, like set it way higher.
I saw Lance do it, so let's see if I could remember the steps. Like this. Like that. And then this guy here, make sure you go the right orientation.
Probably enough shot. Go down. $25 foot-pounds. We got the rotor done. Put it on the new forks. That should be about 2 inches longer.
Dude, I'm excited to see how it's gonna sit.
Some proper length cables. Nice little black.
How much shorter were they?
I mean, probably 2 inches shorter.
Nice. Wheel is on, and we are going to pair new fresh rotor with a set of EBC brake pads to go with it.
Be dialed.
Even though the bike is fuel injected, I really do appreciate a cable throttle. I really like the feel of it. I like that you're not twisting like a computer mechanism that then is telling the throttle body what to do. These cables are directly in line. You can see in there, and that is doing exactly what my hand is doing. Very similar to a carburetor in the terms of like your hand is spinning and twisting that. Versus some of the newer fuel injected bikes is throttle by wire. And basically it's a computer mechanism inside of the grip, which then tells the computer on the bike to then spin the butterfly on the throttle body, which is like, sometimes it doesn't do exactly what your hand does.
Tiniest little delay.
Yeah.
And really, if you're just nitpicking, like you notice it, but like if you're just cruising, you don't really notice it that much.
You don't notice it like cruising down the highway or riding the canyons. It's just when you're getting aggressive and like in the wheelies or those minuscule like sections when you're trying to ride a little harder. But I love a cable throttle bike. When you're on the bagger, we're not riding them as aggressive. Yeah. We more are just like touring them. Even if we're riding them a little hard in the canyons, as hard as you are on these small bikes. All right, boys, we did it. Look at how good the new rotor looks. This bike isn't set down yet, but look at how long of travel we're seeing right here. Look at how much travel we're seeing right there. People are probably watching this like, that's way too high. Let's drop the tank, pull the tank cover off. I'm gonna do it from this side because the air filter's on. Look how good that looks.
All right, can I take this thing off?
Yep, drop it.
Like it's hot?
Drop it, drop it. Dude, it's looking so good. All right, we're not fully torquing down the tank and stuff like that because we still need to finish up the oil and the horn. Dude, we should have freaking measured the before and after. We blew it. We blew it.
That's what I was saying when we rode it in the last video. I was like cracking up in my helmet about how like it feels like a normal Dyna because like the bar rises.
Oh yeah.
But you feel really low to the ground.
Yeah, like when I jumped on the regular DX.
Yeah.
Like I was like, Jesus, this thing feels tall. All right, now hold the bike. This is where I'm gonna lower this one. Just make sure we're good. All right, here we go.
Get one of them.
I'm so excited, dude.
I was thinking like, oh, I'm gonna ride this thing so bad.
Dude, it's so much taller.
All right, here we go. Yee-hoo! How is it, dude?
It feels like a normal Dyna.
Here, pull it up right here so we can see it up on its kickstand. Bro.
Settle a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, there's no fender gap now that you're on it. Now that you lift it though, there's a little fender gap. How's the lean on that thing, dude?
I was gonna get on it, but I'll let you guys see it.
Juan really badly wants a 39mm Dyna.
Yeah, I mean, dude, this thing's so sick. And like, it's so easy, like Cole's been saying, like, it doesn't need a lot. We've done all these things, and like, couple of days, but really it's only like a weekend's worth of work.
Yeah,
like,
and it's done. Like,
Yeah.
this is ready to go. I mean, we're not done. We're still gonna do a couple more things to this to really dial it in. It ain't over yet, but for the most part, it's a pretty daft bike already.
it's freaking.
This is the formula. This is the perfect formula for a great 39 mil Dyna.
So good. Forks are raised about 1.5 to 2 inches. Shocks are raised, 14-inch shocks. We got the new air filter on it, new rotor with pads, better brake line that doesn't bounce around, perfect length. We did new throttle cables that are shorter. Look at Juan has to be on his tippy toes.
That's how you know it's proper.
Not to mention, over the last couple weeks, we did 9.5-inch pullbacks with our mid-bend bars, put mid controls on it while we were on our way home from Sturgis. We put our OG stainless exhaust system. We put a custom Thrashin Saddleman seat, and all of what we just did on this episode. And I'm telling you, it's still not over yet.
Hurts me a little bit when you mention the mids and the seat. Those are mine.
All right, guys, welcome back. It's a new day. We have waited all morning for UPS to show up so that we could get the spark plug wires that we ordered and put them on, as well as we ordered a horn kit. It is past lunch. It never showed up, so now look what he's doing.
I'm getting parts for the bike, dude.
Taking my spark plug wires.
Do we leave those on it for the giveaway bike? Put the fresh ones on there, because then it's like something that came off of your bike, something came off my bike, steal something off of Juan's bike.
One thing, Cole was so excited
So excited.
about the shocks that we threw on this bike. He liked them so much. What did you do?
I showed up to the shop an hour early and I threw mine on.
So Cole went ahead and he threw on the exact same shocks.
Juan and I set sag this morning. It wasn't really that far off, so whoever gets this, it's really easy. You just sit on it, and then you want the eye-to-eye distance to be like between 12 3/4 and 13 1/4. So super easy to install. My last shocks, I didn't like how soft they were. These feel a lot stiffer, and I had like an inch riser on them, and I didn't like that. I wanted to bolt straight to the swing arm, so
Cool.
stoked on the setup.
Oh, looks like they're gonna fit just fine.
But we're gonna get the bike buttoned up, proper spark plug wires. The coil was hanging off where the horn's supposed to be. Dialed it in the way that it would have came from the factory. So we're gonna finish up buttoning up the bike, and we're gonna go take this thing out on the road and feel how this suspension feels through the corners, through a little bit of canyons, and then we'll go get some lunch. So let's do this. Yeah, thing feels good. I'm gonna take off on it first, and then somewhere in the canyons, I think everyone should flip-flop bikes. So that way everyone can get an experience of what this bike was and what it feels like now. We've not only like basically raised it 2 inches, also improved the rebound and dampening on both the front and rear of the bike, and braking. When I rode the bike out, the brake pads and rotor need to like set because it was almost like they weren't that good.
Yeah, no, we need to let them properly set in.
Yeah. Riding this bike now feels like I'm on a imitation of your bike. Now the height of the bike, I feel like the stance of it when I'm on it, it feels like yours. And then in the canyons right there, I felt confident. Like I was never scraping, I was diving, I was riding it hard. I almost feel like now that you can ride it so much harder, I'm feeling how old these tires are.
Yeah.
Like I had a couple moments where I was on the brakes or even on the gas and I was cutting loose. This amount of power should not be doing that. Tires are feeling a little crusty now. Like once you fix one thing, you realize the next thing that needs some help. I think we should do the flip-flop.
So much better. I mentioned that it felt like you were riding a Dyna, but at Sportster level, like really low. Now it feels like properly set up, and it does feel almost identical to my bike.
I did notice a couple of things, like just flip-flopping. I almost feel like I'd like to cut your bars down, like we did.
Yeah, I noticed that right when I got it. Oh, these are like half-inch skinnier or something.
Yeah.
Like they're.
Did you notice the mids versus the further forwards?
Yeah.
What are you
sure.
liking?
5'11", pretty much all my height comes from my legs, so I kind of prefer the inch forward. Like after going back and forth now, it kind of like confirmed it for me. Like I still love a traditional mid setup, but you can't go wrong with either one of them. I got in that wheelie.
So what did you notice?
The tire's slippery for sure. I noticed like with my bike, when I kind of get the balance point and I'm kind of running out of revs, I still have way more than I think. So I can kind of get it back to the balance point to slow it down. This I hit the limiter of the balance point and I was like,
so the Limmy's probably like 55 and this one's probably set to like 65 or something.
Yeah, exactly.
We are confirming that Cole does like his Thunder Max a little bit more than the stock ECM.
I definitely,
or at least the tune that's in this ECM.
This is a bike that I would 100% ride and be happy with and probably not change anything for a really long time.
For sure, for sure. All right, Juan, you're the last man.
I'm excited to try this thing.
So you're gonna ride this thing. We got a little bit more of some light canyons ahead, but I think you also got to take us to this Carnitas spot that these guys keep telling us about.
All right, yeah, let's check it out. Somebody commented.
A lot of people have been commenting. They're like, you're in Moore Park, you got to try like Rancho Carnitas or something.
All right, yeah, something like that. Well, let's go hit it.
All right. Carnitas mi Rancho.
Night and day difference. Honestly, the extra height gives you a lot more confidence. The front brake is coming around. I was purposely like trying to bed it in, and it's definitely already a lot better in the last couple miles. The bike's freaking sick, man. It rips. It just feels like a completely different bike now that it's taller and super fun to ride.
Yeah, 100%. Like it feels like it's one of these. Like I bounced off all three of them, and it's actually a really cool experience. Like getting to ride the carbureted bike, then getting to ride Cole's bike with an awful front brake.
We do do that though. We didn't have time to change it before starting.
But getting to feel his rev limiter and the way his bike runs, these both have just 88-inch stock engines, but just the tune, how much different that can make the bike feel.
Yeah.
And then just like feeling like even just the braking power, the engine power. It's interesting riding the carbureted bike and it feels more sluggish now. Just the carburetor feels like it's not as peppy. Yeah.
How did you like going from the inch forward mid controls to regular mids?
I think on a day-to-day riding, I like the regular mids more because I feel like hold my shin away from the air filter, to be honest. As well as I do feel like if I'm gonna ride an aggressive bike like this, I would rather be a little tighter.
See, I felt with it more forward, I felt like it could be more aggressive. Even wheeling, like I feel more comfortable with it a little further forward. Because it like I said, I'm all legs. Like that's most of my height. Like my mountain bikes used to be set up all funny because like my seat was so high, but like, yeah, I don't know. Just having that little extra like relaxation in my knees is, can't read the rest. What does that say?
Well, I'm gonna say it probably says, please keep door shut.
It's not a direct translation though. It's like maintain the door closed.
So I guess the big thing here, they have fresh homemade tortillas. Look at that.
I'm gonna do the 2 taco combo plate. Comes with rice, beans, salsa.
15-pound combo, $275.
You want 15 pounds?
2 taco combo, please. The tortillas are homemade?
Yes.
Nice.
Make our own tortillas and tamales.
Oh, yeah. It's our mascot. You guys only do carnitas.
Only carnitas, that's all we specialize in, just the carnitas.
Wow.
Yeah.
Look at that cinnamon. Thank you guys so much.
All right, guys, enjoy.
Appreciate it. The boys are inside getting the fixins, but to start it off, this horchata tastes homemade. They put the cinnamon right on top. It's the size of my hand, dude. And there's so much meat in there. What do you think?
Pretty delicious.
This is by far the biggest stuffed taco. Homemade tortilla, uncle's recipe carnitas, hot sauce, pico de gallo, onions, cilantro. Because it's so big, you almost need a hot sauce each bite, you know?
Dialing in the second one?
Yeah, because all right, here's the deal. I kind of regret getting 2, but my body is telling me to eat the second one.
That's why I'm like, I'm glad I didn't get a second one because I would have ate it for sure and then I would have been like...
Yeah, like this one's for sure like put you to sleep. Juan, you made a really good point. So much of the flavor is just coming from the carnitas and how flavorful it actually is per bite. Like you're basically eating just the carnitas.
Yeah.
It's pretty incredible. If you're in the area and you like carnitas, it's worth a stop.
It's got
About
some rice, dude.
1.5 in, I passed the taco over to Juan. Trying to
take
get some
some
help.
bites, dude.
All right, I got a text from the boys. A couple boxes showed up. Parts for that bike.
More?
Yeah. All right, guys, if you haven't yet, go to thrashinsupply.com and learn how you can enter for a chance to win this bike that is turning into a beast. It's an 04 FXD. And there's more parts at the shop right now that we're gonna go check out. Let's do this.
Whoever scrapes next on the way to the shop, get something when they get there. What do I get?
And you guys both said, "Oh, that doesn't count. I'm not getting anything." And
What
Juan
did
goes,
I say? No,
Juan-
no.
Juan goes, "I'm not gonna scrape the giveaway bike." So there was like
I didn't say anything. I thought the agreement was between you and I.
If there was a rule of who could scrape, like before we get to the shop or something, I would have scraped on the street back there.
I don't know. A little bit more on this side this time. What do I get? Do I get what showed up?
You don't get nothing, bro. All right, guys, that's it. You got to hang out with us the last 3 days. A lot of parts in the works. So that's the stuff you guys don't see on camera over the last 3 days. There's a lot of other work going on around here. We were kind of like jumping away for an hour or 2 at a time and kind of stabbing at this giveaway bike. Bike has been improving every day and week since we got it.
I think it's a night and day difference from when we picked it up. I think any one of us are stoked to hop on that thing compared to when we first got it. Like, who's gonna ride it?
Yeah, no, and that's the thing is now with the 3 39mm Dynas out there, they all feel so close. There's minuscule differences that you can really pinpoint. Hey, this one has better brakes. Hey, this one's a little more powerful. Now it just feels like one of our bikes.
We got a due date. Like we didn't want to just get it home and like put a couple parts on it. We wanted to make it feel like one of our bikes before.
Yeah. It's like, man, I'm kind of getting jealous. We don't even like put this much effort into our own bike. Like we've been coming into work and giving this bike, you know, an hour or 2 a day. And
we do, but over the course of like years.
Yeah.
Like we crunched this all into like what, 5 weeks?
If you haven't already, hit thrashinsupply.com. There you have it. We'll see you guys next week.
See you later.
Oh yeah, And there's some boxes of stuff for the bike.
Give me that, dude. Dial me in. Let's just see what's in here.